Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to the first Tim-centric Why I Hate This Album Solocast, where I, your favorite host, Timothy P. Richardson, will be doing a greatest hits of sorts, running through my favorite Amazon reviews read on this show, mostly by me, albeit limited to 2018, because I got a little lazy, so we'll probably do another one of these someday. Now, with me as always, because, and I quote, I'll be goddamned if I allow you to do a Solocast, this is my show, you are merely an employee, is the fart to my shit, the piss to my vagina, the rectum, the to my Garrett P. Harvey. How are you doing today on this apparently now duocast? You fuck.
I think it's just pronounced podcast. Tim, I am seeing this from the other side. Is this how you feel? Is this why? I think I understand your reaction every time. I'm doing awful. I'm doing just terrible.
Is it because you learned that the Jewish community is not a fan of recreational yarmulke usage? Secular yarmulkes.
No. Oh. No, let's leave failed businesses aside for the moment. No, Tim, I'm upset for a few reasons. One, I'm upset with the mouse traps that you laid around my couch bed yesterday. I'm upset that you soaked all of my clothing in bleach. Don't know why. I mean, I can't wear it, but it's not like a thing people do.
I assumed you wouldn't want to record nude. I don't know where you got the sweatpants. Are you hiding sweatpants in the wall? It doesn't matter.
Of course I am hiding clothes from you in case you bleach mine. I am upset that you disconnected all of the plumbing in our home. That all of this, I believe, in an attempt to keep me from my rightful seat, the owner of the Why I Hate This Album podcast and CEO, Garrett P. Harvey.
It's a solo. Okay.
Listen, if I felt like you were ready, responsible enough to handle your own episode that I didn't have to listen to or in real time monitor and censor, I would be thrilled to do that. This is a lot of extra work for me, but I can't. And you know why. Listen, I'm not going to go into the details here, just so you know, so there's no confusion between us. It's the moths. What you did with the moths has created a level of distrust in this professional relationship that makes me think you're not ready. So, I'm going to be here today. It's your party. You are the conductor. Take us down the track. But I am going to step in from time to time just to make sure, Tim, well, frankly, you're your own worst enemy. And, well, you're mine as well. Tim, you are everyone's worst enemy.
Well, that's kind of a compliment if you think about it and kind of squint a little bit. I like that.
Lie to yourself ever so much?
Absolutely. So this week, we are discussing what I think history will someday record as the greatest hits episode, possibly even the only greatest hits episode, the Why I Hate This Album greatest hits episode. Most bands we discuss have between 1 and 20 greatest hits albums. Some legacy acts end up with more greatest hits albums and kind of career retrospective compilation albums than they ever had studio albums. I'm looking at you, Sublime, with your 9 compilation albums and 3 studio albums. Ugh. Yeah, but most of them put out like 3 to 5 studio albums and then toss out a greatest hits. Now, we on this show are not that lazy. We have released just shy of 300 episodes, prepisodes, solo casts, duo casts now, before we brought you the first greatest hits episode because we respect our audience. The plan originally was to go back through all of our episodes and find the best Amazon reviews, the most entertaining, the ones that made me laugh so hard I could not finish them while reading them. And then I got to about a year and I decided, well, I've got 48 of these and I'm going to have to trim them down quite a bit because there are so many. It's weird because the first year of this, the Amazon reviews were much better. I don't know why.
I noticed this as well, and I've given it a lot of thought. And I'm going to say, I think that maybe we were putting our efforts in the wrong places. Now it's a lot more understanding the meaning of the songs and, jokes, and a lot less getting into the nitty gritty and reading through hundreds of reviews.
Oh, I still read every review.
Oh my God. Well, you're just, okay, never mind, scratch that. You've just gotten worse at the show.
Fair enough.
Your words, not mine.
Fair enough. But the first year of this show, 2018, had some amazing Amazon reviews. And so we're going to bring you ones from that year alone. There were 51 releases, 49 episodes, 2 bonus-odes, 62 hours and 28 minutes, give or take a few minutes.
Remember when we used to have time to do bonus episodes? Tim, I'm just curious, unrelated to anything we've talked about today on the episode. Did you put cactus in my underpants?
Well, I didn't think you were going to wear the bleached underpants.
But you put it in there.
I did, yes.
Just in case, yes, okay.
Well, so we have interns sometimes that steal our clothing. You know this. They don't make enough to buy clothing. So anyway,
no, I get it.
The
Wait,
sound
hold on.
quality.
Wait a minute. You do this is something you do to yourself as well.
Yes, absolutely.
To protect it. Yeah, it's not bad.
I booby trap most of my clothes.
I've had Tom B. Rady steal more than one of my pair of boxer briefs, and he's like, I washed them. It's a big deal. And I'm like, it's a big deal. It's actually quite a big deal. You can keep them, Tom. And yeah, honestly, I think he knows that's my response.
Yeah, well, my problem with him is that he cuts all of my boxer briefs into some sort of cup holder? Is that a thing, like a jockstrap sort of situation?
Wait.
And then he returns them.
He's like, what's the big deal, bro? I washed them.
Yeah.
But there's no ass. It's the big deal.
And one would say, if anyone's not going to mind, it's Tim. But I do mind, Garrett. I mind so much.
Yeah, it just defeats the purpose of the underpants, mostly.
Ugh, yeah. Anyway, so the sound quality of these, we're going to try and clean them up again, because the one thing we have gotten better at, looking back, well, we've gotten better at a lot of things, because the first, 6 of these episodes that I listened to, no, scratch that. The first 15 of these episodes that we released are absolutely terrible.
Ugh.
Just terrible, especially
That's
Garrett's
hard to
parts.
hear. Wait, really?
But after that, they got pretty good. I actually listened to a couple of, the second half of 2018 episodes all the way through. Not bad. I wasn't embarrassed by it.
God, wait, I'm the worst part?
Yeah. And here's the other thing. The sound quality, I'm going to see if Garrett can fix these. He's going to spend a lot of time on this Tim Solocast, which he seems pretty pissed about.
Yeah.
But the sound...
Not just that, though. It's the asbestos you've put in my cereal. That's serious.
Well, it looks quite a bit like Cheerios. If you had a much more fun cereal like I do...
Right, it would be much harder to blend in.
Right.
I guess really what bothers me, Tim, aside from the several life-threatening things you've done in order to keep me off the show this week, is that you just never simply asked, can I do a solo cast? Just that simple act of not asking might have just nudged me, might pushed me, might have gotten me there for not trusting you enough to do it. Had you asked, I might have said yes.
I submitted a lot of the my this to my this suggestions for you to use.
Well, those were dreadful.
What? No, okay, but what I'm saying is they weren't dreadful, and the slate of rejections I got from that I had to use, and I'm sure you're going to bleep at least one of them.
All of them. Every last one.
Don't you dare. I will
no one will
it.
ever know
I have
your filth.
unbleeping technology, Garrett.
We have the simple edit, the Tim edit, the Garrett edit, the Tim re-edit.
Yeah, where I undo your edits.
Well, you should have filed the paperwork, is all I'm saying. Also, you did several things to my personal effects that I expect you to pay for.
We'll see. You want to get into these reviews, Garrett?
Yeah, but before we do, gonna regret this, I know. Small compliment, Tim, because when you proposed the concept and said what you were gonna do here, I was like, I don't know. Is there enough meat on the bone? Will the listener, and hey, I know some of you are ardent viewers, but most of you listen. Find the feed. I was thinking, are people going to want to hear this again? But the beauty of it is, it's so long ago, shockingly long ago, that it doesn't require any heavy lifting. You get to hear the clip right here in the episode, and they truly are amusing. You've done a good job curating these.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Listener, I don't think it's even going to feel like a clip episode. I think you're really going to enjoy this.
I think when you hear the sound quality of them, you're going to be very aware that this is a clip episode. Also, the other good thing about this, Garrett, is because most of those episodes, and again, it's mostly your fault, were just terrible episodes. These, the parts where I found idiots on the internet, only redeeming part of any of these. So, they get to listen to the good parts of the episodes. The non-Tim and Garrett parts, but mostly the non-Garrett parts.
I really feel like you could be lying, but I'm not going to go back and listen to these.
Absolutely not.
I propose, not immediately, but we should perhaps redo the first first 15 episodes.
I would do that.
It's basically a different show now.
Yeah, and according to many of our listeners, a worse show where we don't stick to the music and just talk about nonsense.
Hey guys, guess what we know about? Nonsense. Guess what we don't know about? Music.
Track number 1, Smash Mouth, Astro Lounge. This is episode 5, released February 20th, 2018. 2008, modern day classic. No matter who you are, or what you like, or where you're from, everyone likes at least one song off this album. At least one. Smash Mouth may have toured with NSYNC, and they may have sold out after their punk roots, but you cannot deny that they are classic. Maybe not epic, legendary, but this album is at least classic. Their greatest hits of all time, that's in almost every movie, all-star. Can you try not to sing along with it? Just try, I dare you.
It's in 2 movies, not every movie.
All right, but at least that point is fair. You can't not sing along with it.
Yeah, okay, I'll give him that. I also like that they came in, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but they came in with a pretty low bar. At least one.
Okay.
Seems like a reasonable fellow so far.
Okay, that's gonna go away. There are a few bands with Smash Mouth's modern style, and those with it cannot do it as well or remain as popular as Smash Mouth. The ska, reggae, modern punk, see Third Eye Blind or Eve 6 are strong, very strong. Anyway, I can listen to this entire album and sing along with every song and be moved by every word. Steve Harwell may not be crying over the microphone or screaming into oblivion, but his words emote more than the fakers can ever imagine. You know when he's happy, sad, upset, confused, disgruntled, or high. It's wonderful to be able to sense that in pop music. If you don't like any songs on this album, I'll gladly... Hang on. All right, let me compose myself. Sorry.
All right, get it together, goddammit.
Sorry. All right, if you don't like any songs on this album, I'll gladly shoot you in the face.
What?
Because you're a liar. This album is great. If you don't like any songs on this album, I'll gladly shoot you in the face because you are a liar. This album is great. It's what I was saying while I was laughing uncontrollably. What the fuck is that? I'll gladly shoot you in the face. Gladly! I'll gladly shoot you in the face.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Can you reply to Amazon reviews?
You can.
I am
comment. This is, unfortunately, this is 2008. He might not get it.
Great stuff, though.
Yeah.
What a great
Jesus
review.
Christ.
Right out the bat. Man, audio quality has significantly improved. That was tough.
Absolutely. Also, my ability to get through a simple sentence without choking and almost dying has improved. But Jesus Christ, this person is unhinged, Garrett. I didn't even write down what this person's name was at this time. I'm not sure that I said it in the episode. Who could be sure? But if you don't like any songs on this album, I'd gladly shoot you in the face. Because you're a liar, this album is great. Now, February 2018, Tim, that's how you say that sentence, you idiot. What's wrong with you?
God, that was really funny. You could not fucking read that sentence for like 30 seconds. I enjoyed that a great deal.
We edited it down quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to give them a small amount of credit. Now that we're not so cynical and we've listened to so much bad music, like, yes, I agree. Everybody can enjoy a Smash Mouth song. Ironically or not, you're tapping that toe.
Well, yeah. And it's an album that is, and this might be colored by, what's-his-face just dying. However, it's an album that seems at least good-natured.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's like ska without being ska, if that's possible. Like, they didn't fall into the trappings of ska, but it's as inconsequential as ska, and they're making no apologies for that.
Yeah, also they dressed like they were in a ska band.
It might be ska. Garrett is Smash Mouth ska.
Damn it. We were too musically illiterate to ask those pointed questions on episode number 5. But yeah, listeners, write in, hatepodmail@gmail.com is Smash Mouth ska. It is closer to ska than I've ever realized.
Yeah, it really is.
Fascinating. What I also really love about this review, and couldn't agree less with, is they needlessly lob fucking grenades at Third Eye Blind and Eve 6, but in the weirdest way possible. They say that Smash Mouth's music is somehow more emotionally meaningful?
Well, yeah, the other thing is, you know when he's sad, happy, upset, confused, disgruntled, or high. This guy attributes high as an emotion akin to happiness. What?
Yeah, well, in their defense, not the only one we're going to talk about today, but I do not know that this person's first language was English.
Oh, that's not going to be the last time that gets said.
No, but, and you know, I always like to point out that if you were to ask me to do anything in another language other than maybe Latin, I would be hard pressed to do, well, even ask where the bathroom is. Sure. So, credit where credit is due, but still, this is truly unhinged. Also, there's that shooting people in the face section.
Yeah, and to our listeners, Garrett is giving himself way too much credit vis-a-vis the Latin.
You are rude. All of a sudden, you're introing... Have we switched places? I don't like this. Is this a body swap?
I'm planning on slapping you later, and I'm planning on you cowering in the corner like I used to. We'll see.
We will see how that goes.
I'm terrified.
We're all curious.
Track number 2, Justin Bieber, aka Juby. This is Purpose, episode number 6, released February 27th, 2018. So this one, and I want to mention this is by Mr. Jeep, because that comes back. Okay. Right. So this is like a 7-paragraph review. The first 5 paragraphs are very negative about the album. Okay. And then, so I'm going to just read long highlights from the last 2 paragraphs.
So far, he's gone hard against the album.
Yes. One out of 5 stars and gives reasons for that. It doesn't matter what those reasons are. Before any of you musically illiterate brainwashed believers respond to this review with things like, "You're just jealous," or "I'd like to see you become more famous than him," or "How is it in your parents' basement?" in an attempt to disarm me, let me prove you all wrong with the following. I have a college degree from a highly prestigious university, no less, and a very successful career at one of the world's leading financial service institutions, at which I am highly respected by both peers and superiors alike. Not only that, but I'm actually more successful than both my parents. If anything, they need me more than the other way around. I do not make millions, but no one has to be a millionaire to survive or to be considered successful. I have plenty of money to buy food, pay my bills, pay my rent, and even spend on recreation and countless other forms of personal enjoyment. To top it off, I'm the proud owner of a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Mr. Jeep, I guess that's where that comes from.
Why the year?
I don't know. Stop. Let me continue. I'm actually very happy and productive with my life. So why would I want to be rich? Unlike most people in America, I am someone who at the age of 29 knows how to be happy with what I actually do have, as opposed to being unhappy with what I don't have. And then it goes on. There's a paragraph here talking about how society is too materialistic. Okay, and then I'll skip to the last here. So now your overused allegation of me being jealous of Justin being rich and famous has been utterly demolished. Owned.
I feel owned.
Yeah.
That guy is just screaming into nowhere.
Yeah.
He's so angry and so vehement that you understand how calm and adjusted he is.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite. 1
yeah.
star. Thank you, Mr. Jeep.
Oh, Garrett, Mr. Jeep. God damn it.
God bless Mr. Jeep.
I don't know. I mean, I assume no one else has bothered to go back and listen to any of these old episodes in, 5 years now. This guy made at least one more appearance on the Lil Wayne episode 45, I'm Not a Human Being, where he said most of what he said here. This guy's crazy. He's in a sad way, in a very sad way. I have a college degree from a highly prestigious university, successful career, one of the world's leading financial institutions. He's respected by his peers and superiors alike, and he's got a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which he's riding in 2015, so, okay.
Cool. Consumer Reports' second lowest quality graded SUV or small SUV, the Jeep Cherokee, 3 years later. Okay, good job, I guess. I don't make millions, but I make a good salary, so I must not be jealous of Justin Bieber. Bitch, I'm jealous of Justin Bieber.
Yeah, we all are. We all are.
And should be. The
Yeah.
guy's life fucking rocks.
But there's other reviews on this same episode that suggest that might be the work of Satan and his allegiance to the Dark Lord.
Yeah, we'll get there, of course. This diatribe devolves so dramatically that I'm shocked he remembered that it was about Justin Bieber at all by the end.
Yeah, he does pull it around. Your overused allegation of me being jealous of Justin Bieber being rich and famous has been utterly demolished. Owned. And he makes it sound like this is a long-standing back and forth conversation where he's yelling a little something, they're yelling a little something. There's no one else talking to him. This is all just a one-paragraph rant.
Yeah, I picture him at work. They go out to lunch, have a little bit of Applebee's. Everybody's going back in, having enjoyed some delicious shrimp poppers. And on the way back, they had to listen to Justin Bieber. And Paul's just like, goes on his little rant about how much he hates Justin Bieber. And Carol just casually on the way in just goes, "Oh, Paul, you're probably just jealous. He's got all that money and girls."
You're talking about Paul Jeep, right?
Correct, Paul Jeep. Paul Thomas Jeep. And anyway, not thinking anything of it because who gives a shit, right? And this guy's just, first of all, he's like, "It's Mr. Jeep." And, "Oh, you don't call me by my Christian name. That's for my mother and the woman I'm soon to marry when they sees how cool my Jeep is." Anyway, and, just grinds on it. He's got to get it out somewhere, but has no friends or significant others. And so, of course, he writes this review seemingly repeatedly, just grinding on how jealous he isn't.
Yes, also of Lil Wayne, who is a really bad influence.
Well, that's what I mean, is he's basically just doing this over and over again across different reviews on Amazon, but it's all about one thing.
Yeah.
The Jeep. Why is everyone talking about my Jeep?
Garrett, what if there is no Jeep?
Oh my God. Have you seen the episode of I Think You Should Leave with Bob Odenkirk and he's sitting down having breakfast? I have a Roadrunner. Yeah. I have triples of the Barracuda. Yeah, you have triples of the Barracuda. It's gotta be true or I don't know your dad. Gotta be true, right? I own an ice cream shop. Triples of the Barracuda, doubles of the Roadrunner, and I know your dad.
Yeah, no one knows what this means, but you are talking about our outgoing secretary/treasurer of the Tims, Tim Robinson.
God bless him. Anyway,
Yeah.
I love that. How do we not talk about that show more? It's so funny.
Yeah, we should maybe watch it instead of doing the show a couple times. Maybe a couple weeks.
Wait, just skip a couple weeks and just watch the show?
Yeah.
Maybe we skip a couple Godzillas.
No, how about we do like an MST, what is it? MSTK3K. Nailed it.
Close.
But instead of commenting on it, we just watch it and let it be.
And don't record it.
Well, we can record it. We'll leave the cameras on. They're usually running anyway.
Just trained on us, not talking, but watching that show.
Well, otherwise there might be some sort of copyright issue.
No, I agree. I just want to make sure. I think that we could probably put on OnlyFans.
I don't think we should go back to the OnlyFans, Will. I am.
New account.
Well, sure. Yeah.
We want a fresh
We're going to get
clean
a lot
slate.
of complaints if we don't put feet back on that account. Anyway, Garrett, track number 3, Eminem, a.k.a. Bruce, Revival. This was episode number 10, released March 27th, 2018. This review is by U.S. Navy Vet 2002. This album in a nutshell. Okay, this is my interpretation of the review. I have to say that. I don't actually know how it sounded in this guy's head. All right, step back, the real Slim Shady about to stand up, crack a bad joke like a dad wearing jorts and a tank top, dissing Trump like a college kid wearing a pink cap, fapping a My Little Pony, but friendship ain't magic, sipping coffee from an I'm with her cup while wearing makeup. Damn right, M's got his forehead in his hands on the album cover. Mirror, mirror, how many more tracks will make his fans suffer? Put on his lawsuit and sue himself for libel. Only way to make money off this album called Revival. Boom.
Oh my God.
1 out of 5 stars from U.S. Navy Vet 2002.
Every time I'm reminded of the Eminem episodes, plural. I have the exact same reaction. Oh, we should do another Eminem. Followed by this reaction, you can't. You have to stop. You've beaten that horse to death.
Yeah.
But, Tim, I've thought about it, and I think I have found a workaround.
We hire U.S. Navy vet 2002 to rewrite all of our notes into raps, which we then perform in some sort of musical episode. Go.
Okay, well, that's fascinating because my second note on this is we need more Tim rapping. We'll circle back around to that. Not your nonsense.
D12.
I'm sorry, what?
D12.
It is I'm off the top of my head, I believe it is a rap collaboration between Eminem and 50 Cent, perhaps?
Well, that sounds good. I love collabos.
And maybe it's not 50 Cent, but it's at least Eminem like in a boy band, but they're rappers. It's a rapping
Why
boy
isn't
band.
that a thing?
I just said it is.
No, but I mean like widespread, like 5 people to a boy band. It would be the opposite of like a Wu-Tang, right? So instead of them going off into like solo careers, you have already famous rapists, ideally that hate each other, come together in a 5-person boy band. They're managed, of course, by Lou Pearlman's Ghost. And
Have to be.
yeah, and
It's in the contract.
and they just released like 3. I mean, and they would have to like try to do no rapping on any of these. They're doing a boy band thing.
That's where you lose me. No one's gonna do that.
They're taken to Orlando by force, okay? And
As all boy bands are.
as all Orlandoans were. Yeah.
No, I don't think they'll do that. But I do think if you wanted to make a bunch more money, there ought to be more rap supergroups.
Absolutely.
And that's what this is. I believe it's a rap supergroup.
So it's like
But
the damn Yankees of rap.
I'd have gone Traveling Wilburys, but you get my point. Anyway, yes, we need more Tim rapping. We got a full Tim rap on this, and it is splendid. We've only gotten it one other time.
I will say I did not do a very good job of rapping this, but I have
It was a
practicing.
medium job.
It was a pretty poor job. I got the idea that this U.S. Navy vet 2002. I feel like I got across what he was trying to get across, but I mean, I've been practicing my raps.
I was worried you'd been practicing his raps. I was going to say, Tim, it's over. The time has passed. Waste of time. No, okay, well, let me counter that with your best rapping ever, the D. Antwoord episode.
Well, that's true, but that was fueled by Mark David Chapman. Who's that guy.
Yeah, where does he come into play?
The guy from Hamilton.
Yes. Mark David Chapman is not the guy. Oh, anyway, we're way off base. More Tim rapping, more D. Antwoord. I think we agree on both.
More reviews from U.S. Navy Vet 2002. I think all reviews, he should write a review. We should hire U.S. Navy Vet 2002. He's probably done with the Navy by now. God knows I am. Or they're done with me, I should say. But
Record dishonorable discharge.
I conducted myself honorably at that court-martial. I don't know what you're talking about.
I suspect this guy earnestly thought that Bruce might read this review and want him to maybe spit some bars on his next album.
See, I don't, because if that was the case, he should have been far more complimentary.
Sure, but maybe he thinks it's tough love, and then when he sees an example of what good raps are, he's like, man, I gotta get this guy on Revival.
So he'll respect the fact that he didn't kiss his ass.
Right. Well, I mean, he's from the street, Tim.
That's true.
He wants you to be a straight shooter.
Yes.
Otherwise, why are you putting a dad rap into the middle of this review? And here's what really bothers me about this guy. I get having a dream. I have several. I even get never doing anything about that dream. I've done that repeatedly. I also understand at least trying and failing. Also a respectable route to take. What this person did is a weird version of procrastination that allows him to feel like he's done something without any of the consequences or risks of real failure.
Yeah, like
this man is sad.
I respect
Having said
him.
that, not a bad rap. Maybe he'll guest on our album.
It's like my third favorite review we've ever done here. I think this might have been the first time where I decided intentionally to just have one review.
It was just too good. Couldn't top it.
Yeah.
No, reasonable. That brings us to track number 4, the fantabulous Miss Gwen Stefani and her Love Angel Music Baby, our episode number 17, released May 16th, 2018.
It's the 15th, and of course, Lobster Asshole Martini Baby.
We'll check the notes.
Review the first. It's called People Have No Idea. Anybody who is out there hating on Gwen is plain silly. First of all, these reviews are people's personal opinions. It's not as if they're reviewing for Rolling Stone or something, so people should stop referring to other people's reviews who they disagree with negatively. There's no need to be vicious.
Okay, hold on. This is clearly a review about reviews.
Hold on. He's prefacing it.
It's a he?
Yes. There's no need to be vicious. That being said, anybody who gave this CD a bad review is a moron. Gwen gives us something that pop music has been missing for years. Some pop music with substance. A lot of artists out there put out mindless pop CDs, but the lyrics on this CD, while some of the tracks are purely for fun. That's not a sentence, sorry. Just realized that. There is some really in-depth looks at Gwen as a person, just as much, if not more, than on some No Doubt discs. Thank you,
Probably.
Mark McLaughlin from 2004.
I love that he goes to great pains to tell people to chill the fuck out and be nice, only to then go and insult everyone, and then pick out the one quality about this album that is not true. If you had to summarize this in one sentence, Tim, would you be able to do so without including the phrase pointless lyrics?
If I used the word soulless, I believe I could, yes.
I think the only way I could get around it is if I included the words car fucking. Excellent.
How have we only ever done one solo Gwennifer episode?
Well, because this is like, I feel like the rest of them are by far diminishing returns.
Okay, yes, as is usually the case with all sequels. Plus, I've never heard another song by her that even touches the tip of Bananas, Bananas.
I would argue Bubble Pop Electric, or that one at the end that's got all those Martin Luther King speeches in it. Inexplicably.
To be clear, that's not Bubble Pop Electric.
Sure. Those are two different songs that are as good
like
as
Black and White.
Bananas. Bananas.
I see. Yeah, that last one for sure. With the
Racism.
Martin Luther King. Yeah. Weird. It's always weird when somebody's trying to show how racist they aren't, and as an end result, they come off very racist.
I think it's great. This review is fantastic because we get this occasionally where there's the first half of the review is this plea to be reasonable, to be respectful, and then he uses the phrase literally, that being said.
Like I do, joking.
Right. Anyone that gave this CD a bad review is a moron, and then goes on to say more things in that vein. It's I love
fascinating.
it. I love it.
How can you be that hypocritical in the same sentence? I don't even think it's separated by a comma.
There's
It's
a
just
period, but I think
okay.
it's literally, it says, there's no need to be vicious, that being said.
Yeah, I really don't get it. It's, hey, don't judge other people for their opinions. It's their right to have them, and, everybody's is their own. Getting that out of the way, those people are fucking stupid. Here's why.
Perhaps he was taking a cue from Miss Stefani and her final song on this album, where she said, we should all live in harmony together and not be racist. That being said, here's an inappropriate song.
Yeah, that's true. He really did take a page from her book. Maybe he was saying that other people shouldn't judge his review harshly, but everyone else is clearly fair game.
Well, sure, I think he was saying they shouldn't judge Gwendolyn Stefani harshly.
I see. Yeah, well, they should, because she's an adult and there's millions of dollars at stake. And also, like, common sense, right?
Yeah.
Don't put Martin Luther King in your album if you look like Gwen Stefani.
I feel like just don't do it. And you know what?
Maybe across the board.
It was like 3 episodes later where Guns N' Roses did the same goddamn thing.
That's 100% true.
It was like the time we stumbled upon the Winston's Amen Brother in Slipknot, and then the very next week, Dee Antwoord also did it, or possibly vice versa.
Yeah, it was before we understood, like, oh, it's in all songs, dummy.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about this review for me is this, like many of the reviews that we have read over the years, it is written as though somebody at Amazon is paying them to write it. Like thought and structure and tone are all that of an authority position. But like, there's just somebody in their pajamas.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's paying for this opinion.
I love the ones, and the problem is a lot of these we don't read because there's nothing really funny in them other than like conceptually, but I love the ones that are written in, it's like a 3-paragraph thing that's written like it was somebody trying to do a review for the AV Club in 2011.
Yeah, it's like, this is going to be on page 13 of the Times. So.
Right. And,
Bro, you're like 160 deep on Carrie Underwood. No one's ever reading this.
I am. I read
Also,
all of
well,
them.
sure, Tim is. Also, it's like 700 words on the topic, and you're just like, why?
Yeah, I mean, there have been some that have stretched in the 2,000 plus words. It's their essays. They are
that's
Chuck
a writing
Klosterman essays on this, except they're idiots.
Yeah, they truly are. Speaking of Guns N' Roses, that takes us to track number 5, Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy, our episode number 27, released July 24th, 2018.
This is from 2016, and it's entitled Axl Rose's Creative Masterpiece. Chinese Democracy is a hard rock postmodern pastiche. What Axl is doing with music is not dissimilar to what Quentin Tarantino is doing with movies. He's taking all of his musical influences and life experiences and weaving a patchwork tapestry that accounts for a musical journey through his life. Similar to Herr Tarantino, Axl possesses an appreciation for hip-hop and a near encyclopedic knowledge of his craft.
Does he actually say Herr Tarantino?
He does, yes.
This guy's a real lunatic. Mr. Tarantino, on behalf of the Why I Hate This Album podcast, we'd like to apologize for anyone even sort of equating you to this maniac. That's really weird.
This is amazing, Garrett. The comparison to Tarantino. This album lacks awareness of other music, like even through the period, because this album was made over a period of, I don't know, 14 years
13
or
years?
so. Yeah,
13, 14
and
years.
This album lacks musical awareness of other things that were happening, even in those years, much less decades before it. It is almost the exact opposite of what Tarantino does with film history.
Yeah, no, it is quite literally the opposite. It is dated and it is not in any way driving forward the medium, which of course Tarantino takes all of the influences from the past, melts them together, creates something new, redefines the genre.
Also, he calls him Herr Tarantino as if Tarantino is his Nazi boss.
General? German daddy?
Ugh, Vater.
Vater. I don't mean it paternally.
All right, Garrett. Track number 6, Simple Plan. No pads, no helmet, just balls. Episode number 32, released August 28th, 2018. First review here is by L. Reanimator O. In a field of dictators, these guys are like Stalin, easily, is the title.
I don't know what this could possibly be about.
Before my musical tastes went off the deep end completely around September of 2002, I remember my friend playing this in his car when we were driving up to the mountains. Now, pop punk is really a hit or miss thing. I loved Green Day as a young buck, and I could listen to Blink-182 and actually enjoy it. Then my roommate at the time got this CD and kept playing it. To say no pads, no helmet, just balls changed my outlook on music is severely inadequate to express my reaction to Simple Plan. So before I get real long-winded, maybe I should give Simple Plan credit in that their brand of music made me follow my own existing esoteric taste even farther. But then I might as well say Pol Pot was an alright guy because he taught me communist regime-inspired genocide was bad. And there's no way in hell that's gonna happen. 1 out of 5 stars.
Oh, wow, that is an incredibly tenuous and complicated metaphor.
10 people found that helpful.
Oh, bullshit. I've never met 10 people my entire life that even know who Pol Pot is.
Yeah, that's fair. He did not make a big mark on history. The last review compared Guns N' Roses, or I guess Axl Rose, to Tarantino. This one compares Simple Plan to Green Day, Blink-182, Joseph Stalin, Vladimir Lenin, and Pol Pot. What is happening?
In a field of dictators, these guys are Stalin. What could that possibly mean?
No, that's not quite right, Garrett. In a field of dictators, these guys are like Stalin, easily. No question about it.
Oh, easily Stalin. Hey, guys, I was just thinking, if you were to, equate Simple Plan to a dictator from history, who would it be? What are you saying? God damn. I guess they're vicious. I mean, what does Stalin do? genocide, rule with an iron fist.
I mean,
gulags.
Kind of kept everything together. Won that Second World War.
Okay. Then immediately set forth on trying to start a third one.
Right. But that was also Little Truman if we're passing blame around.
Oh yeah, don't let Harry Truman fool you. That motherfucker.
Ugh.
He defeated Dewey and then he got a taste for winning. History jokes. That was great.
The other thing I love about this review, Garrett, is that I'm not sure if any of the reviews we've done so far have mentioned this, but 10 people found this helpful, which is bizarre. But also, I feel like I've let us all down by not keeping better track of those statistics, because I think it'd be interesting to see what people like. The more insane, maybe the more helpful.
Well, okay, let's think about this for a minute. I would go to an Amazon review for a product, but not for like art. Who's going to the Amazon review to be like, I've heard some things about Simple Plan. Let's see what the people of Amazon have to say.
Well, I mean, I can say I think a lot of people might, but I think something we never do on this show because it would just be interminable. So many of these reviews go song by song and really go in depth of like, track number 1, here's my rating for this track, here's my review for this track, there's a lot of reviews that are just, they seem to be for that. And I don't really understand because Amazon lets you play like a 30-second clip of this. Just do that.
Yeah, just listen. Or there's got to be a number of ways you can hear. Actually, maybe not. Boy, that's maybe the one reason record stores still make a ton of sense. You can go to multiple record stores and still go listen to something before you buy it.
Yep.
That's convenient as shit. And I mean, nowadays, what are you buying? Who's not paying for streaming music? Is there a single person on the planet?
That's fair. I mean, you buy a lot of records, and then I buy a lot of records that are things you hate, and then I replace your records secretly with those records.
You have some good records too, but I just mean like you can test it on your own. Like, you're already streaming, see if you like it. If you do, then buy the fucking record.
Yeah.
I have to say, weird soapbox, but I am beginning to think I need to buy physical copies of movies that I truly want to own, because these fucking jokers with the streaming services, you buy it, and that doesn't mean shit. Like, if they lose the license, doesn't matter that you give them $20. They're like, yeah, sorry, you don't have it anymore. They can just take it away. Anyway,
I feel like what you're saying is you need to get a hard drive and a VPN.
Yeah, Tim, but hard drives, you've seen The Last of Us. I need that physical media.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can't trust those ones and zeros. What if some sort of fungus eats it all?
Maybe I haven't seen Last of Us.
Maybe I haven't.
I don't know. Either way, Garrett, track number 7, Sublime, self-titled. This was our episode number 2, released January 30th, 2018. Here's one from 2013. It's entitled A Moment. This album changed my ways as a teenager/young adult. Fell in love with the album when it came out. I was knee-deep in illegal activities and didn't care what could have happened. The lead singer showed me what could happen if I continue my ways, and it was a real eye-opener. Luckily...
He was scared straight by Sublime!
Yes, yeah, no, it gets weirder. Luckily, I wasn't doing the hard stuff, but maybe my path was on the highway to the powder. Who knows? But realizing what talent was lost and the effect it had on people, I changed my ways. R.I.P. Thanks for the heads up.
Shock of all shocks, Tim. I was not aware we had done 2 Sublime albums.
You know, I was recently reading a email, or possibly a Instagram DM. You owe me a third one. You promised, apparently, and I have no memory of this, but the internet apparently remembers, you promised that if you got to 500 somethings, I don't know what that is, but this person assured me that this benchmark had been reached, that we would complete the Sublime trifecta. Were
they keen on the details and you don't remember, or were they also sketchy on it?
I don't remember, Garrett. I don't really read these things. I just remember Sublime Trifecta. I don't. So we have to do Robin the Hood at some point. And from my memory, Robin the Hood makes 40 Ounce to Freedom in this goddamn album look like masterpieces, like musical, lyrical masterpieces.
There's a chance I've never heard that album.
You shouldn't have. It has nothing that ever would have played on the radio on it. Gwen Stefani makes a cameo for some reason, but she makes a pre-Tragic Kingdom cameo, so nobody gives a shit.
Ugh.
Yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry, whoever DM'd me, I apologize. Garrett does not let me keep my phone in the recording booth. Get a lot
because you play video games.
I love Sudoku.
You're just terrible at it.
Sudoku.
even say it.
Soduku. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Garrett, this review is about a man that was scared straight by Sublime. He was on the highway to the powder. Thanks for the heads up, Bradley. Thank you for dying.
It was you or me, friend. Oh, I want to know, what was he taking?
I don't know. I think, well, because he wasn't doing the hard stuff, so it makes it sound like he was just smoking pot and...
Sure, but that's what you and I think. Like, maybe this guy just had some mouthwash with alcohol in it.
Oh, you shouldn't. Don't drink mouthwash.
I get well, no, you don't drink it. That's my point, Tim.
Oh, you
like,
cut your gums
been...
and just kind of seep it in.
Oh, no, God, don't do that. Drink it. Don't do that. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, my. No, what I'm saying is I'm getting the impression this person is so sheltered that even just like, you know what, damn it, Margaret, I'm going to get the Listerine. I don't really care. I like the way it burns. And then he's sitting there listening to Sublime. I smoke 2 joints in the morning. Oh, you know what? Goodness. What if I started smoking joints? And then I ended up like that Bradley fellow. Like, I think this guy could have been so far from where Bradley Knowles ended up that it makes no sense. The reason I say that is because why else in the world would somebody be like, hey, buddy, thanks for dying for me? Like, this person's so unhinged that they truly believe like, oh, you've really set a good example of what not to do. Thank you so much. It's the only thing I can conceive of, because otherwise, like, no rational human being would say that.
But he was knee deep in illegal activities beforehand. Knee deep. Garrett.
Interesting. Maybe he's laundering money.
He's
just
like
doing
that.
a bunch of Ritalin. He's just got a lot of spreadsheets and Ritalin.
Ugh. Could be.
I mean, hey, you can make a lot of money laundering. Money.
What?
Too many monies. You can. How do you say that not like an idiot? You can make quite a God damn.
One could turn quite the profit with money laundering.
Yeah, but you sound like an asshole when you say it like that. But I get it. Like, I'm not blaming you. Everything I came up with sounded the same way.
Yeah, you were stuttering like quite the Tim. Ugh.
Just every avenue I went down sounded increasingly more erudite and stupid. Anyway, back to this review. Well, actually, I think we've really stripped it to the core. Let's get going. Track number 8, Mr. Blake Shelton, episode 18, If I'm Honest, from May 22nd, 2018.
The first one is a review by Tank's mom.
Tank's mom?
Yeah, you know Tank?
Uh-huh.
It's his mom.
Oh, okay.
Her title is Love It. Got this on the day it was released. I waited on my front porch for the UPS guy to deliver it. Sitting there, I heard Blake Shelton singing in the distance, and he kept getting louder and louder. Apparently, the UPS guy is a Blake Shelton fan also. He got his CD before I did and was blasting it from the UPS truck. Love it. Now, I need to add here that I live in a very rural area, so he was not disturbing anybody. We don't even get the mail delivered here. As far as the music, come on, it's Blake Shelton, for heaven's sake. It's a given. Question. Yes. She lives in such a rural area that the mail does not get delivered there. Is the UPS man, is it a ghost?
Yes.
Okay.
But seriously, I don't think there's a part of our country that doesn't get mail. What's the date on this review?
2016.
Why in the fuck is she having CDs mailed to her?
She's an old person. This is Tank's mom we're talking about.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. It's not Tank, it's his mom.
Yeah. All right, Garrett, we have a review from Tank's mom. God, yeah, I don't know that we didn't mention that on that show. We're good friends with Tank.
Well, Tim, I was really concerned about this. I have really bad news. Tank passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, well, listen, but for the listeners, our friend Tank, let's start with a silver lining. Tank's mom, she's doing great.
Well, that's good.
That's Tank, on the other hand, our buddy Tank was a semi-pro demolition derby driver, and his whole thing was not wearing a seatbelt. Hence, Tank. Yeah. And tragically, recently, just before Christmas Eve, he was launched from his car, landed face first into a deep fryer full of corn dogs. Fried his whole goddamn face off.
You know, it's tragic, but it's also pretty funny. And it's the way he would have liked to go out.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. People recorded hearing him say, "Fuck yeah!" before he was horribly burned. It's just ironic that the demolition derby is not what killed him.
I mean, it's not what killed him.
It did certainly help. Arguably, it was that lack of seatbelt that really, well, no, it was the 300-degree boiling oil that really got him. But ultimately, Tim, had he had that seatbelt, those two never would have met. So, R.I.P. Tank. But let's read what Tank's mom had to say, or let's talk about what Tank's mom had to say. Let's turn that frown upside down. Oh, God. Although, I gotta say, Tim, you laughed through a lot of that eulogy.
Well, in my defense, I was not expecting any of that. And you know how I respond to shocking, tragic news.
That's true. Giggle like an idiot. Oh, goodness. 2016, this lady is still getting CDs. Love it.
Well, maybe she is, because she lives in a location that does not get the mail, but this is also a review that mentions her getting the mail.
Amazon, dude.
Okay, so she gets UPS, but not USPS.
Yeah, well, I don't know if in 2016, if they had their own fleet, but like here, it's not USPS all the time, or UPS.
Well, she specifically mentions the UPS guy.
Well, it could be like Kleenex. I don't know. Expand your imagination.
You know Tank's mom, Garrett. She is nothing if not a precise woman.
She is a lady for detail. I apologize. Rest in peace, Tank.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of unclear if this man stole her CD, because she said she got this the day it was released. She was waiting on her porch for the UPS guy to deliver it, and then she heard the CD being played as the UPS guy came because he was listening to it.
Maybe he's back there with a little CD burner.
Maybe.
Well, we know she got the album 5 stars.
Well, maybe she only heard it from the UPS man.
I feel like that would have made its way into the... Oh, actually, no, you're right, Tim. She wrapped up the review before she actually was hands on the product, because she said, "Oh, I can hear him now."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember now.
She's typing this on her phone as the mailman is approaching. She's excited. I think when she wrote this review, she did not know that the CD had been stolen from her and she was not going to receive it.
Yeah, that's tragic. I wish there was a part 2. You know, in hindsight, 5 years down the road, some say it's been longer. I think this is probably a lovely woman. She seems very nice.
Tank's mom's great.
Tank's mom is great. And I have since also learned, Tim, there are parts of this country that they do not get mail. You have to go to the post office to get your mail.
Interesting. Are you talking about Native
Rural
American
America.
reservation? Okay.
Nah, just parts of our country. I'd go drive across Texas.
It feels like society is failing.
Yeah, that's an accurate statement in almost every measurable way, except for one. And people aren't going to like to hear this. We actually kill a lot less people than we used to.
Oh, yeah.
Just, statistically. But, we're still killing a lot of people, so it's not great. You don't want to brag too loud.
All right, well, I mean, R.I.P. Tank, I guess.
Yeah, but P.I.R. Tank's mom. Wait, I don't know. What's the opposite of rest in peace?
I don't know. I just assumed that a lot of those hillbillies ate that man's face.
They tried it.
I mean, I would have.
Oh, fried cheek meat. You eat Tank's face.
I mean, look, if no one's looking?
This is a stupid question, but I assume you treat it more like a fried meat rather than like a funnel cake.
Oh, yeah.
You're putting powdered sugar on that face.
I mean, listen, you do it however helps you get it down.
What do you want, like barbecue sauce? No, actually, could I get like some cinnamon and sugar on there? Yeah, it seems more like a treat, savory treat. Yikes. Don't eat your friends' fried faces.
Also, your guy is way too fancy to be at this hillbilly event. Anyway.
Well, that's the guy that doesn't want barbecue sauce. That's the one that wants it to be sweet and salty.
Right.
That's the guy that seems like he might have sort of set this up. That's the guy that
he's there for the face meat, not for the racing.
Yeah. That's the t-shirt.
Let's just stick with here for the face meat.
Oh, God. Artists, write in. HeyPodMail@gmail.com. What's your best depiction of we're here for the face meat? Possibly with a car in the background. Or a deep fryer.
Track number 9, Sum 41, All Killer, No Filler, episode number 36, released September 25th, 2018.
My first review is from K-Cope. The title says it all. I could write one of those long reviews detailing every song and telling you why each song is great, but I can sum this album up in one sentence. This album will hands down rock your face off. I'm serious. I'm writing this with one of those special computers that talk to you because I accidentally listened to this album too many times.
Well, hold on. Are we saying that man has no face because his face was rocked off by this album?
Yes.
All right. Who am I to question someone on the internet's version of truth? But it seems unlikely. If your face is rocked off, does that imply that you also lose your eyes?
I don't think it does.
Well, then I don't know why he needs this special computer.
Oh, then I guess it does.
Garrett,
Well.
a rare compliment.
Oh.
You should read more of these reviews. This was delightful.
Well, speaking of faces being clean removed, although this one is not picked bare by your good friends and a curious stranger.
Well, again, you don't know that. Perhaps his
That's
face
true.
was rocked off, and then, donate that face.
I do have some fresh theories about this review. So, as we're hinting at, this man basically claims that his face was rocked off, thus requiring a voice-assisted computer for him to write the very review we were reading. Now, initially, we were just saying, okay, this rocked so hard, his face was ripped clean, and then you posed the question, well, just because you don't have a face doesn't mean you're eyeless, as Face Off has taught us. I want to take his face off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Presumably, he could be smoking cigarettes like a goddamn champ without a face.
Absolutely. Burning scientists, smoking cigarettes, all the while doing so with his completely functional eyeless eyes.
Eyelidless.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Eyelidless. That's fun to say. Anyway, try it out in your free time, kids. Eyelidless. Sounds like an island off Ibiza. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. I think, Tim, perhaps maybe what he meant was he listened to this album one too many times at the bar. Got himself into a bit of a car accident that rocked his face off.
Why do we think this?
Because this whole review is about how his face was removed.
Right.
Well, and an album can't actually remove your face.
You don't know that, Garrett. We didn't play it that loud.
It's a volume issue?
Our safety precautions for specifically the Sum 41 All Killer No Filler album was no higher than 20.
Right, no, I hear you. No higher than 20. But I just what I know about faces and rocking, it seems unlikely. It seems almost more like he was into this and that led him to behavior that perhaps would end without a face.
Okay. I can
And
see
it would
that,
also,
yeah.
and perhaps face is shorthand for like, here's a good example. If you and I were to see a chimp rip a person's face off, it would not be crazy to later learn also an eyeball was removed. Like, that's almost implied a little bit.
Is it possible that he was annoying chimps with this album and his face was ripped off as a result?
Absolutely. He's at the zoo holding it over his head, say anything style. For some reason, he's got
trying to woo an ape.
Seduce an ape. And finally, he finally thinks he's successful. And the chimp jumps the wall. And once he clears that retaining wall, he's arms wide open with a box of chocolates and this stupid album playing on repeat. And we all know what happens next. Genitals and face, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
They go
always-
straight for the face and genitals. But it also probably ripped this guy's hands off, though, too, because he couldn't use the hands to type the review. It was all that one of those special computers, as he said.
There's extensive physical trauma that's merely implied by this review. Tim, we once read an article about a person that had part of his butt ripped off.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what that means.
To this day, it haunts me. What do you mean, like a cheek? Do they split it like a melon?
I don't know. I don't know.
Gave him a homemade episiotomy? Butthole style? That's for some of those intros.
Google episiotomy.
Don't Google episiotomy butthole style.
Yeah.
That won't be good.
And, good thing here, episiotomy, super hard to spell, so probably not going to have to worry about it.
This went weird places. Track 10, the magnificent Christopher Gaines, episode 13, The Life of Chris Gaines, released April 17th, 2018.
This review is called Full Circle, Get Back Resonates with Hope. Thank you, Garth Brooks, for daring to create such a bold album. In the process, you have helped me to come full circle and have won my admiration, thanks, and respect. It's the year 2001, and I'm under the spell of DJ Neil Lewis on a hot dance floor in San Francisco one night. I'm surrounded by thousands of gay and straight men and women, and seemingly out of nowhere, I hear Jonathan Peters' remix of Garth/Chris is Get Back with its beautiful refrain rising like a chorus of angels of "Come on people now, smile on each other." As the refrain repeated in an ever-rising melodic crescendo, I looked into the faces of the people around me and realized that we were all radiating and beaming with the collective unbridled joy. In that moment, it was clear that the universal desire for transcendence above the small things that seemingly separate us has not yet been extinguished. And then he goes on for 3 more paragraphs about
That guy wrote that review on ecstasy.
Yes, he did. This reviewist has some Timothy P. Richardson level cognitive dissonance about what he's into. It's
the ravings of somebody clearly still on drugs.
Yes, yeah, he is on, well, no, not on drugs, on ecstasy, which as we have decided, not a drug.
Wait, who decided that?
On this show, Garrett.
Okay.
We did. It's important. Because you and I, a couple of 1-2 good boys, yeah.
Yeah, Drug-Free America on this podcast.
Right.
Say no to drugs.
Right, except for ecstasy, which is not a drug.
Which is not a drug. Right. That's right. This is all sounding very familiar now. Oh, God. So bold to begin with your first album being a greatest hits.
Sure. So bold to discuss the seductive spell of DJ Neil Lewis on the dance floor in 2001 hot San Francisco night.
That's just the way of the girl. That's just the way of the girl. Okay, Tim, have you read the news lately? Allegedly, this crazy man wants to do 5 more of these.
All right.
And I'm here for every one of them.
Yeah, we will do 5 consecutive episodes of this show on Chris Gaines.
If he does one more concert as Chris Gaines, we will be there.
Yeah.
I don't care where it is. I will fly. Where's that most likely to be successful? Probably the Dutch.
Moscow.
No, I don't want to go there. You'll build that. No, Chris Gaines. No, you're going to work on the rocket program. I don't know about rockets. You figure it out.
And you know what?
Russia,
you
you scare me. Yeah, well, bit of an Iron Man. Well, not an Iron Man, but that scientist that was killed so that Iron Man could succeed.
Garrett Harvey.
I've said too much.
Garrett Harvey, killed by Robert Downey Jr. in an attempt to escape. 2024.
God damn. Good stuff. Yeah, that's everything I want to say about this.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would like to have a follow-up and see what this guy's life is like now.
Oh, yeah. Do a little internet sleuthing.
Yeah, Curtis
I assume he's
R. Punzi. Oh dear. Of the Italian Punzis, I assume. Anyway, if you're not in prison, let us know.
Yeah. Are you still listening to Chris Gaines?
Did you come into your own on a dance floor?
Was it a sexual awakening?
Do you have
We
ecstasy?
Don't even know about that. Interesting. What I love is these God, I really don't care for this Garth Brooks, but Chris Gaines, on the other hand, really turning me around on him. Like, what? What? That's the one? Have you heard It's Just the Way of the Girl? Yes.
It's just the way of the girl. It's, you know what? Honestly, it's turning me around on it a little bit. Let's go to San Francisco.
I've heard it's apocalyptic there now.
Track number 11, Britney Spears, In the Zone. This is episode number 33, released September 4th, 2018. The first is simply by a customer from 2004, and it's titled OMG. This is all in caps. I'm not going to scream it, but whenever the person was typing this, they were screaming it at their screen. OMG. I just heard breaking news. Britney's having a baby with her boyfriend Kevin, and now she's quitting her career to be a full-time housewife. That's just heartbreaking. The music world wouldn't be the same without Britney, and she doesn't need to quit her day job. If she does, who's going to be the queen of pop? She's going to marry him before the baby is due, but I don't think she really loves him. She needs to hire a babysitter or get an abortion, but she shouldn't quit her music career.
Oh my God. That's not about this album at all. When expecting a child, your 2 options are not get a babysitter or an abortion.
That's true, but those are 2 options.
Technically, those are 2 options that you have. But you have other options.
I think it's strange. This is what, episode 33?
Something like that.
I think it's strange. This is the first album that's had a review suggesting somebody get an abortion. I'm just going to say it.
I am surprised we made it this long.
This woman's a monster. Someone had to say it.
You listen, get a babysitter, get an abortion. I don't know what it's going to take. You provide me with the level of entertainment I have become accustomed to. No distractions for you.
Yeah, what am I going to listen to? The Black Eyed Peas, you stupid bitch? Kill that baby.
You know, this is by a customer. There's no name associated with this. Can I float a theory?
Oh, no.
Jamie Spears. Jamie Spears.
I thought you were going to say something way worse. Yeah, no, that made sense.
Out of curiosity, Garrett?
Federline.
Oh, yeah, that also makes sense. No, but he wanted those kids. Well,
Yeah.
let me rephrase. He wanted that
Those
revenue stream.
legally binding. Now, listen, his album is Chet Hanks level bad.
He's a great
But-
father, though. He is.
Great father. With this podcast has heard it. It's been reported time and time again. Kevin Federline, great dad.
Yeah, his music is Chet Hanks quality. His parenting, Tom Hanks quality.
Well,
Allegedly, if you don't count Chet Hanks. movie
Boy, you know, that is-
version Tom Hanks. How about that?
that's a real snake eating its own tail. What do you say? Like, it's on the one hand, how dare you disrespect your father, Tom Hanks? But on the other, you built this.
That's true. Yeah.
It's sort of an Iron Man situation. All of his biggest problems are largely his own creation.
So you're saying
Hanks
Tom
is
Hanks
his-
should have had that abortion?
Oh, God.
Well, Rita Wilson. I'm sorry. I don't. Is that your sticking point?
It is not.
The point is, this review is clearly written by Britney Spears' father to goad her into getting a babysitter or an abortion so that she can make that sweet, sweet money.
Yeah, whatever she does, don't stop making money. I mean music. I mean money. Go to work. I'm glad this person wound up being a complete monster because at first you're listening as you're reading and she says like, it's just so sad that Britney Spears is going to have to pause her music just so that she can have her first kid. Lady, if that's what you're sad about with Britney Spears, like you got a rocky 20 years ahead of you.
Yeah, this
'Cause
is. I would love to get a customer to a year by year, every year. I just want your take. Write a paragraph on Britney Spears.
Yeah, how's she doing?
Let's
What
get
should
that
she be doing?
diary. A customer, if you're a listener, send us that diary.
Why would she? Oh, right. It's her father. That's why he has that. All righty, Timmy. Track number 12, Slipknot, the self-titled album, our episode number 21, released June 12th, 2018.
This won't get you through life. What's wrong with you people? This band will tear your life apart. When you listen to this, Satan enters your body, doesn't care about you. He wants you to hate God so you follow him, because he wants every soul. To prove that he is more powerful than God. Evil makes you feel dirty, and good makes you feel clean. So what would you rather be, dirty or clean? I think you know the answer. Go to your local bookstore and buy a Bible. I used to love this band, but they made me feel dead inside, like I'm not even human. Follow God, good will happen. Follow the devil, rot in a burning cage forever. He gave it 1 star.
I was hoping 4 stars. I used to love this album. What changed?
He began to feel dead inside.
You and I have spent a considerable amount of time critiquing this album and being, dare I say, not too nice about it.
Yes.
Never once, though, did I get any indication whatsoever that A, they were trying to lure me to the devil, B, that they in any way even espoused negative actions towards anyone other than your enemies, aka Doug.
And that woman they kidnapped, allegedly.
He calls her dude and man.
Okay,
so-
that boy or man that they kidnapped.
Listen, let me say this just right. Anybody who would ever abduct a woman and do, and I don't even need to continue from that point on. You're a fucking scumbag and you should die. If I take you, Tim Richardson, put you in a cage and watch you and never let you out, I might get a medal.
That is not the nicest thing you've ever said about me. I will say, while I listened to this album, I was a little bit concerned that I would rot in a burning cage forever. So he might have a point.
Don't worry, it won't be burning.
Oh dear. Could it be? I feel like that would get it over with. Doesn't matter. Other facts about this review. 6 people found it helpful.
How?
Also of note, so our audience, well known to love statistics.
Oh, yeah.
In this review, 9.8% of the words are misspelled.
Wow.
They also didn't put any spaces after periods, but that's neither here nor there.
Like any?
No, never.
Weird.
This is quite a journey.
Yeah.
I used to love this album, but this band will tear your life apart.
Satan will enter your body, and he doesn't care about you. He wants you to hate God because he wants
You know
your
how
soul.
you know how Satan enters your body.
To Prof, he is more powerful than God.
To Prof, he is more powerful than God. Look, counter argument, Satan would make way better music than this.
So you're saying it's Christian music, like ICP?
Let's see, Slipknot?
I don't
think it actually goes
it's-
that far. I think it's just bad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I will say, though, Garrett, at the end of this review, you talked a little bit about imprisoning me. I don't know if you
Did I?
Yeah. And that's...
Oh, right. I did threaten to put you in a cage.
Right. And that's a little interesting in light of those times that you imprisoned me within the walls of this and other previous dwellings while keeping me sedated on propofol, which, by the way, I am allergic to now. I don't know if it's...
That will happen.
Yeah.
That's funny. The more you use it, suddenly, boom, can't anymore. That's going to be a problem for you at some point.
So what would you want to be dirty or clean? I think you know the answer. Go to your local
You want to feel
bookstore
clean.
and buy a Bible.
You want to be dirty or clean? Huh?
Everybody has the power to change because people following God makes you happy. I have a feeling a lot of you hate my review, but I'll take that risk.
It's not really a risk. Who cares? I like the statistics on misspelled words. Almost 10% misspelled words and no spaces after periods, which made me pause for a minute. Do we really need spaces after periods?
Some people want to put double spaces after periods, and listener, if you are one of these people, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, that's a real fervent thing. People get real heated about it. I'm not going to make double spaces after periods because who cares? But I also don't necessarily care if other people do. I just don't understand the benefit.
Throw your work right in the trash. You will start over again.
Do you have any reason why?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Garrett, you're wasting space. You're wasting my time. I have to read 2 spaces instead of just the one? Absolutely not.
Track number 13, Ed Sheeran, Divide, episode 14, released April 24th, 2018.
Yeah, speaking of didn't go to Oxford or any uni.
I hate you.
And now this is a 3 out of 5 review. So keep in mind that whenever I read the title, keep in mind that this is not a person that gave this a 1-star review.
Okay.
It is entitled, Ethnocentrism Runs Amiss. In What Do I Know, Ed decries religion and politics and suggests that love can save the world in a moment. Unfortunately, we do need politicians to help govern our societies, and religion helps a lot of people deal with anxieties and depression. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all just bliss out and play music like this one-man band instead of trying to survive this world? This song also speaks of seeing people marching in the streets and somehow being turned off by this. I don't know what he is referring to here, whether it is something like the Women's March on Washington or Black Lives Matter. I guess if you're a white, rich male with power and who people listen to, you don't have to worry about these things. Unfortunately, we still live in a racist and sexist society where institutional racism and sexism still run rampant. Otherwise, a racist and sexist president wouldn't have just been voted into office. It's a pretty specific complaint.
Still got 3 stars, though. I think it's just that one song they take issue with. Boy, there wasn't any racism on here.
Honestly, this review almost makes me want to defend Ed Sheeran because he's a lot of things. He's
Ethnocentric is one of them.
Is he though? Like, the dude was like a homeless guy for a while. Like, he did not just stumble into fame. I don't think he's taking... I don't think any of the things that they're attributing to him are remotely accurate. It seems like this person's just mostly furious about the recent election.
Yeah, and I mean, rightfully so, but here's the thing.
Why is it in this review?
Ethnocentrism runs amiss. 3 stars.
Boy, that is applied to pop music, no less.
Right. But it's, I mean, a thing in this review, we still live in a racist and sexist society where institutional racism and sexism still run rampant. Otherwise, a racist and sexist president wouldn't have just been voted into office. 3 out of 5 stars.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of this United Kingdom citizen influencing the U.S. election system.
Unfortunately, we do need politicians to help govern our societies, and religion helps a lot of people deal with depression and anxiety. Ed, 3 out of 5 stars.
Still really like those melodies.
Nicole
3
J.
stars.
Barrett. Good stuff.
Weird. Track 14, Carrie Underwood, my least favorite episode we've ever done. Episode 43, Some Hearts, November 13th, 2018.
This is called Carrie Underwood Rocks, and I'm going to attempt to do it in the cadence or in the language that he's got it here. I'm the first one in my entire family that support Carrie, and I never regret the moment I bought this CD and my entire enjoyed it together with me. Yes, enjoyed it. One by one, they surrendered and said that they want to buy her album for themselves. They didn't want my offer of lending them. They wanted to butt one of their own. You can see how influencing she can be? My family ain't American Idol watcher, but they support her. Ha ha! GD job, Carrie. By the way, my family consists of 6 other people. 5 out of 5 stars.
It's funny. Now, that's far better than I can write in any other language. So first, a compliment. Well done. Clearly, that is not your first language. But the cultural weirdness of, I mean, Tim, have you sat down with your family to have the important conversation as to who does and who does not support Carrie Underwood?
Not Carrie Underwood, but my mom and I had to sit down a few weeks ago. Well, it's been like 3 months now, when we sat down and talked about, do we like Jack White anymore?
I feel like she probably came down with a firm no.
We both did. Fuck that kid.
That's a shame.
It was a garbage album. Looking forward to the new Raconteurs, though. Apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, hope it's good.
I loved this episode, and I loved this review, Garrett. I assume, based on the grammar, this was written by a Croatian.
Yes. It does have the distinct patterns and stilted language of a Croat.
And I never regret.
My family has 6 people.
6 other people.
Oh, that is a big family.
The other is a very weird addition.
One by one, they surrendered. We're all gonna sit down and listen to this album until you admit it. You're enjoying yourself. God, that's like a Fred Harvey family vacation. Smile, God damn it, you're having fun. Or a Fred Harvey algebra lesson. Quit crying, it's not that hard. Oh, math.
Yeah, we get these reviews occasionally, and we try not to read them, or I try not to read them for the most part, because it's just a guy that doesn't really understand English. So this might make complete sense, and it's a fine review, but just the phrasing in this one. They didn't want my offer of lending them. They wanted to buy one of their own. You see how influencing she could be?
Adorable. I wish I had a friend that talked like that all the time.
My family ain't American Idol watcher, but they support her. Ha ha!
I think we should probably get out of here. I would have so much fun with that guy.
It is very dangerous.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Every night, army shells village, but Carrie Underwood keeps spirits high.
Couldn't tell you a single Carrie Underwood song.
She's the one that does the Jesus Take the Wheel, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a great episode. We should go back and listen to it. This was the one that somebody wrote us an email saying they loved our show until this episode because I said that anyone that liked this album must be a sociopath. And she wrote in to tell me that her children weren't sociopaths, so I had to write back to tell them one of the key things about a sociopath is their ability to hide being a sociopath. I did not get a response.
Yeah. She did say she was going to keep listening for a bit.
That's
to see if, we continued to offend her. We really don't mean to. Just, watch out. Maybe lock up those scissors, put them on a high shelf.
Yeah. Just watch out. Just maybe lock your bedroom door. You don't want to wake up and find one of those little bastards standing over you at night. That's terrifying. Track number 15, Guns and or Roses, Chinese Democracy, Review the Second, episode number 27, July 24th, 2018. This is entitled Bomb, and it is by somebody named Dylan from 2008. So what's worse, the album cover or the music? Seriously, 14 years, and this is the best cover for an album Axl could come up with. It's an old bike with a wooden basket. Is this supposed to be deep in how simple it is? Like the Highway 61 Revisited cover? It's not. It's trying to be something like that, but it's a failure. The album cover for Chinese Democracy pretty much reflects how powerful the music on this album is. Keep in mind this is written by somebody named Dylan. Speaking of Highway 61 Revisited, what was it about that album that made it so huge? It captured the spirit of a time, that's what. How can you capture the spirit of the time if it takes 14 years? It makes no sense. Things change too much in 14 years. Don't bother trying because the times they are a-changin' too quickly. I think that was written by Bob Dylan.
That was totally written by Bob Dylan. You took the words right out of my mouth. Bob Dylan had a private encounter with Axl Rose that did not end well and chose the review boards of Amazon to air his grievances in a somewhat obscured but mostly very obvious way.
Yes.
God damn, that was funny and weird.
Okay, that was definitely Bob Dylan, right? Like, we were joking
Yes.
about it at the time, but everything points to that being Bob Dylan writing Amazon reviews saying he's better than bands.
Better than bands, and does not like it that Axl Rose is ripping him off.
Or their cover. It's just too bland. It's just a bike.
That's actually a key distinction. He's not upset about musically being ripped off, because there's not a single note that makes any sort of correlation between Bob Dylan and Axl Rose, but definitely the artwork. He's claiming that not only is it a ripoff, it's too simple. And here's the part that blew me away. Of all the reasons to dislike Chinese democracy, the album art is fine.
Yes. Also, it looks nothing like the cover of Highway 61.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I think that person just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because it's Bob Dylan.
Correct, it is Bob Dylan. Also, I could see Bob Dylan feeling like a lot of people are ripping him off that aren't, and having a lot of like spurious accusations and feeling slighted for no apparent reason.
I wonder what he thinks about the Knocking on Heaven's Door cover.
I could see him being like very diplomatic, but also very clearly letting them know, just like, oh, that's what you're into. Okay. It's just, if you want to listen to that, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and tell people what you can and can't listen to.
All right, make the impression 26% less intelligible.
I was going so many times. Got on Jersey Mike's. No, I don't want baloney, but I got to go to Subterranean Homesick Blues. No, picked up dry cleaning. Good stuff, Bob. Good stuff.
Track number 16, John Anthony Gillis III, a.k.a. Jackson White, Boarding House Reach. This was episode number 30, released August 14th, 2018. This is entitled Mind-Boggling Bonkers, and was written March 23rd, 2018, the very day this album came out. Imagine you were at a bar on a Friday night. Your friends told you that they would meet you for drinks, but one by one, they text you telling you they can't make it. The bar becomes more crowded and the music gets louder. The light of your phone becomes more tiring on your eyes. You look up to see a gorgeous, sexy woman staring at you from afar. You turn to see if anyone is behind you, but it becomes obvious that it is indeed you that she sees. She stands and walks towards you as your heart begins to beat harder and harder and the lump in your throat begins to swell. She leans over to your ear, but the soft tone of her voice just barely cuts through the music engulfing the room. As you make your pleasantries, you notice a disturbing glimmer off the whites of her eyes. She holds herself like a seductress, and you know in your heart that something isn't right. As your mind races to figure it out, she says the words you've always longed for a woman like her to say to you. Let's get out of here. She takes you to her apartment. It's simple, elegant, pristinely tidy, and it puts you on edge further. You take a few sips of a glass of wine she hands to you, but she begins to move closer. You both slip into the bedroom, and her tender lips press against yours. The most spectacular night of your life has just begun. Everything you wanted, and what you never expected, comes to fruition. After hours of lovemaking, you both drift off to sleep. The soft morning light kisses your eyes, and they creep open. You turn to see her next to you, and you feel at peace. As you turn back to the window and see the sun peeking through the sparse trees and power lines, she turns over and gives you that same off-putting look from the bar. She leans in for what you think is a morning kiss, but instead, she slits your throat. Your head can't move, but your eyes roll to see her with a large knife painted with your own blood. Your blood pools behind your ears as the life leaves your lungs. The only thought you have is, where was she keeping that knife? Now that is what this album did to me. Now, here's the fun part. That's a 5-star review, and 4 people on the internet found that helpful.
Okay, 1, that's a review somehow. 2, that was a 5-star review. And 3, how is that in any way helpful?
I assume those 4 people did not purchase it and were like, well, didn't get murdered by a lady today. That guy helped me out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So he feels as though that was a positive experience.
I guess.
Murder. Did you skip a part?
Nope. That is every word that was in this review.
I am shocked. I thought for sure this was all a big analogy for betrayal and being...
Yeah.
So after the vigorous night of lovemaking that was so great, what made it real great was that he was then killed. We need to figure out who wrote that and report them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a Kyle T. If you know a Kyle T, because we don't want to get sued. If you know a Kyle...
That's too specific. We'll say K. Thomas.
If you know a K. Thomas, boy, I'll tell you what, Tim, that's awful close to Lyle. Perhaps this was another escapee from the mine shaft.
Could be.
Boy, this has just been horrible.
Well, that's the most unhinged thing we've ever featured on this show, Garrett.
At first, I was really upset revisiting this album. Like, I don't know, have you listened to any of the songs from this?
No.
Like, they sneak in because I'll start a Jack White station and that'll play. And you're like, what is this? Like, it's familiar, but like,
It's Ice Station Zebra every time.
It always is. God, dude. Or Getting the Mine Shaft. This review is terrifying, beautiful, upsetting, haunting.
Yeah.
It's haunting.
Yeah. It feels like a review that an insane listener wrote hoping we would read, but I mean, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, and it was too early in the run. We were only 15 episodes in.
30, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 30. You're right. I'm sorry.
This was also the episode my mom was quoted on. So I thought a fun thing to do would, because she never heard the review, she just heard the album, right? I was driving around with her when I still had a car, and I made her listen to this album a bunch, and I just wrote down things she said. So I wanted to see, okay, I'm going to send her, because I for this thing, I chopped up clips of all these, what we've been playing here, and I sent her one to see what she had to say, see if I could get a quote, it'd be a nice little bookend to this thing. I remember the craziest association to the album being more prominent. It's not. The whole thing sounds like I'm reading my mother's softcore pornography that ends in a snuff film. She did not get back to me. Mom, I'm so sorry. This was inappropriate. I did not listen to it in full. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom.
Wow. I can't believe you sent that to your mother. At least you didn't read it to your mother.
I did, though.
I mean, I guess you
sent
did,
her-
though. Yeah, you did. Oh, my God. Now, I'm very curious. Have you talked to her since you sent it and she made no mention of it, or she has yet to respond to you?
She made no mention of it. I speak to my
Interesting.
mother every day.
Me too.
No, you don't. Oh, you speak to my mother.
Yeah, at least once a day.
Okay, that's good. I mean, she's a sweet lady, and you're trying to get cookies out of her, so.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm not saying
Tim
that's
knows
why
this.
you're doing it. I'm saying, but that, yeah.
I am calling her for emotional support, and I will listen to her stories and hope she gives me cookies.
I think, okay.
That's a two-way
Now, let me
street.
ask you this. Did she mention me sending this to her, to you?
Yes, she did.
Didn't care for it?
I am not allowed to discuss on air her comments.
Now, did you assure her that this was me reading the thoughts of somebody else as a goof? It was not me reading a story to
I made
my
no
mother?
effort to defend you.
Okay, well, that's not ideal.
My job is to listen and get cookies.
I mean, that's fair. I can't argue with that.
She listens to me, gives me advice, and sometimes just says, I'm a good boy. And that's all I need to hear because somebody's got to say it, for God's sake. And other times I listen. And then I get cookies. You are not a good boy.
No,
You are a bad boy.
I read a horrible
says-
thing to my mom.
Gross stuff to your mom. Why would you? Why would you say that to your mom?
I did.
It's gross.
Fair enough.
It's like Skinamax.
It is. It is softcore pornography that ends in a murder. It might be hardcore pornography that ends in a murder. I don't know. I think this is at least me asking my mom to watch a specific scene in Basic Instinct and then being like, huh? You want to comment on this experience for our podcast?
You know, I was going to not mention something because this has gone really well. I've really enjoyed this. I might have made a small edit to the clip before you sent it over.
Oh, God.
Simply adding the phrase, Dear Penthouse, I never thought it would happen to me. And of course, signed Timothy Richardson. Your mom cannot tell the difference between our voices when I impersonate you. And that's fair. A lot of listeners can't either.
You could have at
but,
least Mr. Blacked it, though.
No. This was a goof. I thought, I'm going to be honest, Tim, I thought she was going to understand that it was me goofing and it was you goofing. It was a double goof. You goofing and me goofing you a little bit, all in good fun. She did not.
God damn.
Yeah, but the good news, it's all on your shoulders. She's not mad at both of us, which is important.
Ugh. Are you going to funnel me some cookies?
Yeah, I'll give you some cookies. Not a lot of them.
Yeah, that was my policy with you.
Yeah. God damn. Anyway, wait, one more of these?
Yeah, let's move on to the bonus track. Every good greatest hits album needs a bonus track.
Apparently.
This is not really a review. This is from the Justin Bieber episode 6, released February 27th, 2018. This was a story we both found, but that you read. Let's give it a listen.
This is my number one song of all time. It saved my life. I almost quit my relationship of 4 years because my girl started seeing another guy. And I was mad when I found out. Traveled by road 2,000 kilometers to meet her and call it off. And I did call it off. Even when she cried so much. Telling me that she and the guy became close because he was always there to talk to, but then she swore she never had slept with that guy and that I was her first and only guy to be between her legs.
Who has been through her legs? Small correction.
Excuse me. She then told me all the things I had been doing, mostly not paying attention to her and not giving her my time anymore, even though she had complained to me severally.
Sorry.
I still left her and traveled back, feeling so hurt because she was the world to me. And then I heard this song, and it struck me so much that I played it all through the night crying. I traveled down to her next morning for another 26-hour road journey, only to knock on her door severally and no answer. Miraculously, I peeped through her window and I saw her on the floor. I broke down the door, and to my shock, she had cut her wrists and was bleeding. I carried her into my arms, and I ran like death was on my tail. To cut it all short, she is fine now, and since then we have become an inseparable Siamese twins, waxing stronger every day. Thank you so much, Justin. I am forever indebted to you. God bless you. One question. At the end there, you might have heard me. Let me reread this sentence because I don't know what typo it is, but I pray it's a typo. To cut it all short, which is a weird time to begin abbreviating the story. I feel like that's the meat of it, but whatever. To cut it all short, she is fine now, and since then we have become an inseparable Siamese twins, waxing stronger every day.
I think we just leave it with that, honestly. I have no questions. One more comment. That didn't happen. Come on.
Well, that totally happened. That 100% happened. That's somebody's life you're mocking.
Yes, it is. All right.
I was sad I couldn't make it through without laughing.
I'm not.
Okay, first off, I do not appear to be stationary during the reading of this.
No, I assume that you are always rocking back and forth at least a little bit like a small boy.
Yeah, it sounds like I am running a circle around the microphone. Occasionally in front of the microphone, sometimes behind it, but never in the same place at the same volume.
Is it possible that you were like spinning your microphone?
Anything's possible. I think I was closer to your prediction that I was rocking back and forth slightly laughing. But it's
so long ago neither of us can possibly remember.
Oh, Christ, no. I can't remember yesterday, let alone 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, you have sustained a lot of head trauma.
Sure have.
The Middle East was not kind to you.
Can't be that specific.
North Africa, even worse.
That's fine. It's a whole horn.
Anyway, did this story happen, Garrett?
I say it did, not how it's told. I think, yes, did he get cheated on? Absolutely. Did this girl then potentially try to take her own life? Maybe. How serious was it? I suspect not very. And did they actually have to even go to the hospital? Probably not. But
I carried her in my arms and I ran like death was on my tail.
Yeah. So
then we have become an inseparable Siamese twins, waxing stronger every day.
I have in full caps, waxing stronger every day is my new sign off. Good night, Shia LaBeouf. We sunset you. Waxing stronger every day is my new response to you. Or it's possibly, I am first and only guy who has been through her legs.
That is what she assured him. She swore, Garrett.
No, Sergey, you're the first and only man who's been
this
through
guy's
my legs.
Croatian too, right?
Eastern European for sure, potentially ending in a Stan, Tajik or otherwise. Or a Jan. We can't rule out the Azerbaijan. Not great places.
I don't know.
No, they're not. They're not. I used to know a guy from Azerbaijan.
I knew somebody that went to diplomatic school. I'm using heavy quotes there in Azerbaijan.
That is a wet man for the government, murdering people, Azerbaijanis at the behest of his state. I'm sorry, who are you friends with?
I said Noah guy.
Anyway, back to this. This is a beaut. I think it was hard to follow, but I feel like he says that the distance between them is 26 hours.
26 hours. Yeah, it is 2,000 kilometers, I believe.
Oh my God. How far could you go?
2,000 km.
Sure. That's ludicrous. That's like driving from Texas to New York, right?
About
Maybe
that,
not quite.
yeah.
Maybe not quite, but damn near. At least
Well,
Philadelphia.
2,000 km, there's really no way to tell how far that is.
Yeah. Who could you possibly convert it from that fucking wizard language?
1.6, I think. It's like 1,000 MIs. Like all
right, so Tennessee.
1,300 MIs. How about that? We'll say that.
I would like to stop now. Waxing stronger every day, Tim. Waxing stronger. Let's see. Yeah, so this lady cheated on her fella, and he caught her in I'm picturing a cabin in the woods somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like. Well, I mean, he says in this, he's just sort of peeping.
He did get a bit of a peep. How's the peeping, Tommy? How's the peeping? Rest in peace.
He was a
All
great
right.
man.
Anything else we want to say about this creep show?
No. I just think we stick with. That was delightful. That guy should write more reviews.
I wish we could find more reviews that have these grand tales in them. It's been a while. We mostly just sit in the dregs of YouTube, and I get it. They're much more entertaining. You got to do a lot more digging to find this, but I wonder why we've struggled to find reviews that are on par with some of these from the first year.
This
year
could
one.
possibly be some sort of genius grant situation. You could analyze comment sections and really graph trends, maybe. I don't know.
Well, that sounds like a terrible use of time.
We've got interns
Oh,
and
yeah,
Dutch.
absolutely. And Dutch. Yeah, they're down there just shivering and bored. Might as well put them to work. Let those little shaking hands get busy, warm up a bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe we could integrate them in, get them folded into the mix up here, get them out of their pen. They've got to be out of quarantine by now, right?
That's not quarantine. That's not why they're down there.
Oh, I've wildly misunderstood why they're contained like that. Tim, they're not livestock, are they?
No, Garrett, no.
Okay, good. We're not eating them, Gino. Oh, that is good news.
Did you know they make stroopwafel liqueur?
What?
You're familiar with the Dutch food, the stroopwafel.
I gotta say, man, you've got a weird addiction with those. Like, I've heard about these many times. You've eaten them almost exclusively since you came back from the Dutch.
Bitterballen, too, are fucking delicious.
Yeah, well, you don't tell me that it's... You talk about it and you eat it. And, well, you hide it mostly like a little raccoon in the corner because you know that I'm telling you, eat some goddamn vegetables and stop eating your maple syrup waffles.
And bitterballen are delicious.
What the fuck is bitterballen?
Fried cheesy meatballs.
Okay, that I'm on board with. Let's get some of those. Why have you not been sharing your bitterballen with me?
I've been scared you're gonna shout about vegetables.
No, fuck vegetables, but stop eating your caramel waffles, you goddamn child. All right, we've permanently derailed. Do you want to bring this train home or should
Yeah,
I?
Garrett, that's it. That's my first solo cast. You supervised me, chiming in where necessary. It was really more of a duo cast, but I think we did okay.
What do we...
This
what do
would
we
have
title
been
this thing?
really weird without you.
Yeah, I don't know what you were planning.
I don't know
Throw
either.
into Gino.
Gino! No.
Just a distant Italian voice. Okay, we're gonna bleep a lot of that. That was swears. Bad, Gino. Oh, what did I think this was gonna be? So what are we gonna call this? I've been trying to dream up a name. You got Timmy's Review Roundup, Cowboy Timmy's Review Roundup.
Greatest Hits Volume 1.
Yeah. Podcast Begins.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Colon reviews.
Greatest Hits Volume 1. No, WIHTA colon, Greatest Hits colon, Volume 1 colon, Best of Amazon Reviews colon, you get to pick one.
Oh, I was gonna say dash 2018.
Dash 2018, I like it. Maybe a parenthetical too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do this. Just be ready. I'm gonna do whatever will be allowed. There are limitations on special characters, but we're gonna learn what they are together.
Maybe some Dutch. Throw a little Dutch in there. Talk about
No,
bitterballen.
we do want people to listen. All right, I'm going to finish this. Folks, as always, rate, review, subscribe, follow, pledge your firstborn. However you can let the various platforms know that you like this show, please do that. This really helps us out to get higher on the charts. Probably going to be some sort of commercials in the 2024. We're also going to play around with the Patreon. Not sure exactly what we're going to give you yet. Some of it's just going to be straight up, if you want to give us money, because hundreds of you write us single sentence emails that say, you should have a Patreon. I would be giving you money if you had a Patreon. It's silly you don't. So we're we're going to do that. And so get ready to give us money. We're going to try to find all the ways to do that in 2024. But until then, you can find us all the places. Instagram is HatePod, Twitter's Album HatePod, Threads is HatePod. We got subreddits, Discord servers. We're everywhere. HatePodmail@gmail.com, HatePod.com, all the hates, all the pods, all the time. WIHTA : greatest hits : you get the point. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other Timothy P. Richardson, and Garrett P. Harvey, I'd just like to say it's been a great 6 years.
Has it? Has it been 6? Let's get the math out. You're not going to be baited into this, are you? Yeah, it's been pretty good. It has been good. Good night.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.